Welcome to the Argus IQ Daily Thread Brief for July 24th, 2026. Today, Russian aligned operators are exploiting Zimbra, phishing campaigns are bypassing multi factor authentication, and malware is spreading through fake software installers and removable media. We also examine urgent vulnerabilities in SharePoint, TeamCity, Oracle Middleware, and WordPress. Strategically, supply chain provenance, continuous compliance, and risk based remediation are becoming essential as regulators and attackers target trusted technology ecosystems.
Microsoft 365 credentials and session cookies. These attacks can defeat conventional multi factor authentication and enable account takeover, business email compromise, and data theft. Require phishing resistant authentication and investigate suspicious sign ins and forwarding rules. Fake Claude installers delivered through malvertising are deploying Sectop Rat and REH Client 2. Other active tools, including Dolphin X and MSA REET, steal browser secrets, support remote control, and may enable ransomware operations. Hunt for malicious library sideloading, unexpected scheduled tasks, browser debugging activity, and unusual relay traffic. Removable media also remains a serious risk to isolated defense and operational networks.
40430. Address H2O GPT Path Traversal CVE 2026 65700 by removing public API exposure and rotating tokens. Finally, investigate actively exploited WordPress vulnerability CVE 2026 15409 and prioritize every internet facing instance.